Have you ever gone through a painful breakup that just left you damaged and wounded after? Where there's just the sight of the person gave you knots in your stomach. I know traditionally for me, most of my life, whether it was myself going through a breakup or observing family members getting a divorce, it just didn't seem like it ended well. And it always baffled me. Like, you start a relationship in love. You have such deep adoration and love for a human throughout your partnership. And then maybe somewhere it goes south or doesn't work out. Why does it have to end with resentment or hatred or nitpicking? Or why does it have to end so painfully? And so that's a topic that I have explored, and I'm about to show you a video where my partner and I reveal some big news. We have decided to consciously uncouple, to end our love story. But we did it with intention, and we did it from a place of love. We decided to break up while loving each other because of the fact of the matter is, we started this love story with absolute love and respect and friendship and trust and integrity. Why not conclude it and end it that way? Now, I wanted to be more transparent. The video I'm about to show you is the day before my partner and I concluded our love story. So we gave a summary and we're sharing with you behind the scenes of what we decided and what we had went through. But I will say, there is pain, there is sadness, there's grief that came with that. And we wanted to share it with others for the purpose of perhaps this could help you. Perhaps it'll spawn an idea. Maybe you're in a relationship that you feel is time to draw to a close, but you just haven't had the courage, or you haven't listened to yourself yet. Or maybe just in the future, just to kind of have this concept of consciously uncoupling, holding a space of love even till the end and beyond, to the best that you can. So take a look at this video and just know that whatever you might be growing through at any stage of a relationship, especially if you are closing one out, that I know that it can be really challenging. And if you just be present with your tender self, your emotions, and with the other person, and hold the intention of love, you too can conclude your love story lovingly. Take a look. I hope this helps. Hey everyone. So we have some bittersweet news. Lots of changes are happening in our life. And so Dave and I have decided that we are going to close out and end our love story as a couple. We're gonna consciously uncouple and go our own ways. And we both just wanted to jump on and share a little bit about what we're doing, why, and how this could impact you in your lives too, and what conscious uncoupling actually is. So a few months ago, 2 months ago, Dave approached the subject, brought the subject to me about, are we happy? Are we living our fullest self? Are we living within our values individually and helping each other be bigger, stronger, faster versions of ourselves? And at first it came as a shock to me, not necessarily being prepared. And then when we opened up the dialogue and started to converse around it, we both realized, while we love each other so much, we are lovers, best friends, business colleagues, and collaborators, that we actually had lost ourselves in our relationship, which is interesting because I actually help women align and attract love while loving themselves and without losing themselves. And what I had realized over the course of our love story, as we started to grow and evolve as humans, that we started to lose aspects of ourselves.
Yeah, and I think that everybody goes through that and they deal with it in different ways. And one of the best things that can happen for you is, I think, the communication factor of being able to figure out when that is happening. Because a lot of times me personally, I do whatever it takes to make the situation easier and better and flow better, even if it doesn't have the perfect outcome for me, or I'm not feeling the best about it. It's just easier to just let it slide for now. And I think a lot of people have that, both men and women, that the ease of the relationship, the softness of it, the get along ability of it is more important than really standing up for the most important thing in the long term of your life, which is, be the greatest version of yourself. And sometimes it feels like that doesn't happen, even though you're in a great relationship where you're really trying to make the best of it, that you end up kind of giving up on parts of yourself. And I think that's what we both did.
Yeah, and what we realized is for 6 years, we've had an amazing, beautiful relationship. What we started to notice is we were becoming less lovers and just more best friends, business colleagues, roommates. And we've learned some really valuable, rich information on how to proceed, with developing our own relationships with ourselves, and then going forward in partnership, should we want to create that next level, how to do things differently. And I'll be sharing a lot more with you all on that. But I think the biggest thing to remember is that you change. You're an ever-evolving, ever-expanding being. When we got together and I manifested Dave, and we've had this amazing adventure of 6 years, we both are different humans than we were 6 years ago. And we noticed we had very similar values, and then we had different values. So that's why it's so important to know your values in love and relationships, that area of your life, because you're making decisions constantly based on your values. And if you don't know them, then you won't realize how your needs are either being met or not being met. So the key is you are always evolving and changing. And that's what happened with us. When we got together and we forged our partnership, our divine partnership, it's been amazing. Until we started becoming aware and checking in and going, wait, where are we losing ourselves, or where are we not living up to the dreams and expectations that we have developed because we've evolved? And I think that's what we learned. The past 6 months, we started working on our next level dreams in life. And with that came a shift in frequency. And also with that came perhaps even the awareness that our soul agreement for maybe why our coupledom was created was fulfilled. And that gets a little bit spiritual, depends on your beliefs. But bottom line is, we love each other dearly. We've decided to close out the love story lovingly. Dave has been incredibly supportive for me and helping me with my next level, and I've been incredibly supportive for him. And it's like their relationships don't have to be challenging or cutthroat or resentful. I mean, we had to work through we did have emotions kick up and resentment kick up and certain things that we then talk through and work through, and yet we will close out this partnership with love to the best that we can, and also honoring, what we can, do our best to maintain a friendship, but also give ourselves space to be not just find ourselves, but literally discover and create ourselves anew, because that's the key. Sometimes you get so caught up in a relationship that you become a we and you forget me. You really need both. You need to know thyself constantly because you're ever evolving and growing.
So I think historically people have, and I know me in particular, what you got? We're good in the beginning of relationships. We're pretty good in the middle, and then we're kind of terrible at the end. And that's what we are doing differently is we're trying to be really good to each other all the way through the process, allowing it to be a healthy ending of our story through the entire process. And that's important to both of us, because our intention is to stay friends through forever, and to be able to be the best friends all the way through the process. And we have so many mutual friends and so many family relations as well that love both of us together, that it just makes sense to keep doing that. So to be able to be really strong at the end of a relationship, to me, is really super important, and that's what we're doing through this process.
Yeah. You know, Dave and I both weren't in it for longevity. We weren't in it till death do you part. That just wasn't our desire. Not to say if someone does have that desire, that's awesome. For us, we were in a relationship of alignment. And as long as we're happy and in alignment, excellent. And if that is fulfilled and we are ready to move on, that's okay too. You can have a successful, epic, beautiful relationship, a beautiful adventure with another human, and it have a beginning, middle, and an end, and it still be successful. Not 1 ounce of us considers this a failure or that we disappointed each other. Like, the biggest disappointment is when you don't speak your truth and you aren't living up to your fullest potential in relation to another. But we firmly believe that we've had 6 amazing years, and the biggest gift that we gave each other was ourselves. Because in the end, as we've closed this chapter in our lives, we realized that it was incredibly successful because this relationship brought us back to ourselves, being our own true soulmate, knowing that it is the relationship with self in which all others unfold. And so for that, I'm incredibly grateful and thankful for Dave, because if it wasn't for this partnership and even growing through these next levels of deciding that it's time to uncouple, we wouldn't have really come back to self. And I think that is the greatest gift that you can give yourself and another human.
So, thank you.
Thank you.
It's been a pleasure.
I love you.
And we close out this chapter of our lives in a healthy, loving way that we believe is very healthy for others to take a look at and engage with as a possibility for them, and see where you go from there. So thank you, and
thank you.
Love to everybody.
Yeah. On to our next adventure.
Yeah.